and I'm protected to a pretty significant degree with these glasses. And it's great for, as Dr. Mercola taught me, it's great for working inside when you're under UV lights and fluorescent lights and all that other kind of stuff.
I'm David Wolfe, and I'm here to tell you about what got me here.
This is David Wolfe, raw food enthusiast, nutrition expert.
I've really had a passion for it for almost 25 years.
Greetings, everybody. This is David Avocado Wolfe, and I'm wearing these interesting glasses indoors. I never wore shades. I never wore glasses of any type in my life, but I took advisement from a friend of mine, Dr. Mercola. A number of years ago, we did a longevity conference together, and he was wearing a similar type of eyepiece, and I thought, geez, what is he doing wearing that inside? And the reason why he's wearing it inside, as he told me, was that most of the harmful blue light is emitted from the lights, a lot of them LEDs and a lot of them fluorescents that are in normal business buildings and hotels. And that planted a seed. And sure enough, somebody gave me these nice blue blocking glasses, and they've been very helpful for me, especially when I've been staying up long hours. And blue light is damaging to our eyes, especially at night. And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. Anyway, this discovery of the spectrum of light, that the blue light has more energy in it and therefore is more damaging, is very interesting. And again, that's what these are designed to block out, is the blue, and make it a little easier on your eyes. You're getting more of the warmth, you're getting more of the yellows and the oranges and the reds, as you can kind of see on the tint of these glasses. And especially late at night, blue light from your phone, for example, should be turned down. And you can check into the operating system of your phone, whichever one you have, an Android, maybe you have an iPhone, and there are ways of doing that. So you can lower the overall brightness, and you can remove the blue light from your phone screen, and you can do that in a timed way so that at night you're not getting blasted by that blue light. When you have these on, it helps a lot, because then I don't have to worry about turning down any kind of screens at all. I can work on any screens in front of me, and I'm protected to a pretty significant degree with these glasses. And it's great for, as Dr. Mercola taught me, it's great for working inside when you're under UV lights and fluorescent lights and all that other kind of stuff. Anyway, I wanted to just mention, when you're talking about blue light, you're heading towards something I didn't understand for quite some time, so I thought I'd just bring it up and we'd get into it. Ionizing versus non-ionizing radiation. You ever heard that before? What does that mean? Ionizing versus non-ionizing radiation. And I've been writing a color book about all the color pigments in nature since 2014. I'm still working on it. And I just got into this piece of it, which is the non-ionizing radiation versus the ionizing radiation. And basically, the ionizing radiation, the harmful radiation, in the sense that it can impart electrons upon you. It could burn you, for example. It could damage your eyes. Starts at the blue spectrum and works its way through ultraviolet and all the way up into X-rays and gamma rays. And those are the high energy particles and the high energy side of the overall spectrum of light, because we have visible light in the middle. And then as you go from blue to violet to ultraviolet to X-rays to gamma rays, the energy increases and it becomes more dangerous. And then on the other side, we've got infrared, we've got microwave radiation, cell phone radiation, which is essentially non-ionizing radiation because it's much lower energy. If you were using gamma rays to communicate with your phone would run out of juice almost immediately. It's too much energy. So these low energy infrared frequencies on the other side, not that they're safe, just flat safe, that may or may not be the case. Some of them could be very important frequencies, incubation frequencies, for example, like 728 nanometers infrared is a good one as far as my recollection recalls. Anyway, the non-ionizing radiation also needs to be attended to, and I've been looking into ways of dealing with both the ionizing radiation and non-ionizing radiation in the artificial spectrum that we've created, right? Because we've got cell phones and radio and non-ionizing essentially infrared side of the electromagnetic spectrum. And when we look at that side, we want to make sure we're not getting hit by all of that stuff as well. And that led me well into the carbon 60 molecule charcoal and into the fullerene molecules themselves being not only almost premier antioxidants, but they don't get used up in the antioxidant process. That's why you can have something like charcoal persist in the soil, the Tierra Preta de los Indios, the soil that was left 1,000 years ago in the Amazon with riches of charcoal in it from civilizations there before. That's the Tierra Preta, is still there. Why didn't it get used up? You put a fertilizer down, it's going to get used up, but the charcoal is still there. So the charcoal has forces that it's utilizing. We call them van der Waals forces. That's not a complete description and is by no means entirely accurate, but that's relatively close to the idea in the sense that when the charcoal, for example, cleans up, let's say, a toxic metal ion, let's say there was a piece of mercury and it got into the earth, you know, a thermometer broke and it was picked up and pulled in by the charcoal, we could literally heat that charcoal up. The mercury would dissipate off. Not that we'd want to do that, but I'm just saying that the charcoal is not lost in that process. It's restored again to being as useful as it was before. And so charcoal has a tendency to persist in environments. And that's one of the reasons why more and more, as I'm getting deeper and deeper into, you know, how do we protect ourselves? I'm thinking about literally painting into my walls. I have done many different crystals and interesting rocks that we crush to a powder and put into the paint. But another thing may be to put in some of these charcoals and super charcoals and see if we can develop a black paint that's essentially using the charcoal power to absorb not only ionizing radiation, but non-ionizing radiation, because this spectrum is covered by the charcoals and super charcoals, meaning that they can absorb and neutralize the many different frequencies of artificial light, or light we can't see because it's outside of the visible spectrum, but it's something like your Wi-Fi signal, or it's something like your cell phone signal, or it's something like a an infrared that you're picking up, maybe from an infrared heater or something like that. So is it possible that we could shield that? And the answer is yes. There are materials that can do that, and charcoal is one of those things. Then I started thinking, okay, that's a lot of work, and you know, what are we going to do with all that work? That's a lot of work. What about just eating the charcoal? Is that going to have an effect on neutralizing radiation that's hitting us? And it seems to be the answer is yes. Because the more charcoal particles that are in our body, the more that our body acts as a neutralization sink for aberrant radiation, ionizing and non-ionizing radiation, that's hitting us. And then most of that charcoal is just staying in our digestive tract, our gut, and goes out the other side. So it doesn't stay in us. So we're not, if the charcoal was in fact absorbing a radioactive particle, for example, and it was staying inside of us, I'd be a little bit concerned about that. But the charcoal passes more than 99% through us, just every time we eat activated charcoal. So I was into my activated charcoal this morning, and we're doing a fast, and I'm experimenting with, you know, what happens when you do 25 of these a day. This is our coal biter activated charcoal. And by the way, activated, wild-crafted, non-plantation, pesticide-free, accelerant-free, non-GMO, not irradiated, no glycerin, no maltodextrin, no citric acid used to process, and no hidden ingredients, also allergen-free. We actually had to put all that on there because there's even charcoal has got all kinds of stuff they're adding to it. And anyway, I just wanted you guys to see that. Look at just the black, right? That thing is black. And that's what you want from a charcoal, is it's going to be black to light. It absorbs the light. And maybe this could be one of our best defenses. In essence, what is this? It's a super antioxidant. Charcoal is a super antioxidant. If the antioxidant theory of aging is correct, and if Denham Harmon was correct with that theory, then charcoal, because of its ability to neutralize free radicals, should be a great longevity substance. The animal research on charcoal is clear, the clearest you could ever imagine of any substance in the world. Charcoal extends life in animals. We know that. Activated charcoal extends life better than any other single substance in animals in scientific research. What an amazing discovery that is. And it's 20%, sometimes 21%, 33%, 34%, 40% increase in lifespan. These are the numbers you see in the research. You would never see that with any nutrient. Resveratrol, if it could extend lifespan by 7%, I'd be shocked. If olive oil is one of the great longevity substances, it can increase lifespan between 9 and 18%, typically in studies. And it's still under 20%. So activated charcoal has, it's time is coming. And that's the message about ionizing radiation and non-ionizing radiation. We need to be protected from the artificial radiation that's coming from the lights and seemingly surrounding us on all sides. I'll take the charcoal, and I've been taking it, and I've been experimenting with it and enjoying it, and I'll protect my eyes from the blue light with these blue blocking glasses. I'm David Avocado Wolfe with today's Color Cure lesson.
Success is persistence. I will persist until I succeed. I will never consider defeat. I will remove from my vocabulary such words as quit, cannot, unable, impossible, hopeless, and retreat, for those are the words of fools. I will persist until I succeed.